Today we're doing the setup guide for the Swift Conqueror 482. We're going to show you how to set the Caravan up on site and how to use everything on the Swift Conqueror 480. On the near side we've got an external 230 volt socket. We've got underbed storage, so this just goes underneath of the front seating area. We've got an external gas barbecue point, so you can get a little connector that will plug into here, and then you literally put that onto your gas barbecue gas hose and turn the little yellow tap on. That will then run from the fitted gas bottle. This is set up for propane, so it's got a hand wheel, so you don't need a spanner. What you do need to remember is the connection on here. It's a reverse thread, so when you're putting it on there, you're going to have to tighten that in the opposite direction as normal. That will then feed into the Caravan when you turn the gas bottle on, so it's just literally just turn the gas on the top of the bottle. That will then feed into the Caravan and also that gas barbecue point that we just showed you there. There is room for 2 propane gas bottles also. The Caravan's set up for 13 pin electrics for towing. It has got the Alco ATC, so if you've got all 13 pins connected on your vehicle, your ATC will work. Also, you'll get a green light and you'll hear a noise when that operates. A flashing green or a solid green is perfectly ready to go. If you get a red light, you're going to have to disconnect from the vehicle and reconnect until you get a green flashing light. If it carries on with a red, you do need to stop and give us a call. The hitch is the Alco stabilised hitch head. If you have a look in our description, there is the guide for hitching up also. Moving on to the off side of the Caravan, we've got the Aldi heating and hot water vent. So this is just literally a vent for when that's working on gas. There's nothing to do with that. The external shower point, if you bought the external shower fitting, that would just fit in here and you can use the external shower, which will come straight off the water containers. We've got 2 water fittings on this Caravan. Now, both blue hoses on this one. One has got a actual water pump and a shorter connection, and the other one has just got a little filter on the end, which will go into your Aquarol, or the white pump part will drop into your Aquarol. Now the first pump here, this would go into the pump with the electronic connections at the top, and this is used to fill the onboard tank only. So if you're going to use the onboard water system in this Caravan, you'd plug this one in, drop it into your Aquarol, and this would be used then to fill your onboard tank. Once you want to actually get the water through the system, and if you want to just use your external Aquarol as normal, you'd use this other blue pipe with the filter on the bottom. Drop this in and this goes just into the bottom fitting as so. You do just need to make sure that the blue clip locks on, and also on the other one that's got a blue clip, and again that has to lock in on the underneath there also when that's in. So if you're going to just use the Aquarol as a normal water system, it's literally plug your pump as we've got here and then put it into the Aquarol. If you do want to use your onboard tank, as we say, it's your other pump, and then you'd fill the onboard tank via your Aquarol with this pump here. Next we've got our external battery compartment. So we've got room for about 110 amp leisure battery. We've got red for our positive connection, and then black is our negative connection. Our 230 volt literally just plugs straight in. We've got a little cutout here so you can lock this up when you've connected everything up, and that just literally plugs straight in. We've also in here got an external aerial point, so if you go to a site and they've got an aerial point that you can go onto, you can just get an extender cable, plug it onto here, onto their aerial point, and that will give you direct aerial from the site. The little black switch at the top here, this is for the motor mover, which when you come to collect the caravan we will show you how to use the motor mover and how to use this black switch. So it's just literally now plug our 230 volt mains hookup in, and that's ready to use. Just behind the wheel on the offside, we've got our 2 wastewater outlets. So all of our water from our sinks, our shower, they're all going to come out of here. There is some waste water pipes just in the front locker box, just to connect onto those and into a wastewater container. For the cassette toilet, we've got the lower and the upper compartments. The upper one here is for your flush water. Now a little watering can or a bottle, and this will just fill straight up. Pink chemical can go into this top one for your flush water, and blue chemical in the actual bottom for the cassette. Now to empty the cassette, the little orange handle, we just lift that up, pull this out, and then when we're at the Elson point on site, we open the nozzle out, we remove the cap, and then the little air valve at the back, we just hold this one in, tip it up and empty everything out, put the cap back on, and then this pops back into place. There is the little manual valve here as well, so if you want to clean out the cassette itself, you can use the little manual valve here. Put your blue chemical directly into here, and again when you come to close this back off, just make sure it's fully closed and the little flaps put back in, and this will then just push straight back in. Just make sure that the little handle locks in. Just up the very top, we've got the drain off for our flush water. So there's a little black hose just here. We remove the end cap, and this will drain off our flush water. So if it's the end of the season, or we're not going to use the caravan for a certain amount of time, or if we've filled this right up and we're ready to travel again, we're going to want to empty this down and not travel with our flush water full. Otherwise we're going to get water coming inside of the caravan as we travel, so just make sure that that's not too full for travelling. Moving back round to the near side, I'll just pop our awning light on. And then when we move inside of the caravan, just above the door we've got our main control panel. We've got our main power button, so that puts our 12 volt on and off. We can then look at the levels, so that will show us our fresh water tank level, our battery level, and on the top here it will also show us that we've got electric plugged into the caravan and we're using the caravan battery. Now if we've got the 13 pin electrics and we're plugged into the car, we could then turn on to our vehicle battery, and that would tell us what power is coming through from the car, and we'd also get the little light change over to the car side. We've then also got our water pump and our fill tank. Now our fill tank, that works in conjunction with the pump that we showed you with the little white actual pump that goes into the top fitting on the outside. And if we wanted to fill our onboard water tank up with water from the Aquaroll, we'd plug that pump into the top with the white pump, drop that into our Aquaroll, press the fill tank button, and that would then start to fill the onboard tank full of water. Once that tank is full of water, we'd then swap over to water pump, and now whether we're going to use the external fitting straight into our Aquaroll, or whether we're going to use the internal tank from the onboard water, we'd press our water pump button. Now before we press our water pump button, I'm just going to show you how we actually drain the system down, and what we also need to just make sure that all of our taps are closed, our drain off valves are all closed before we put this water pump on. So moving inside, I'll just pop a few more lights on. We've then got our taps, so if we've drained the system down, we want to make sure that all of our taps are now closed when we come back into the Caravan. So all of our bathroom taps, etc., we're going to want to make sure they're fully closed. Pop some more lights on here. And then underneath of this seat here, we've got our main onboard water tank. I'll open this cupboard so it's a little bit easier to see. And what we need to make sure, regardless of whether we're using the internal tank or the external tank, we want to make sure that our drain valves are in the down flat position. So when we're using it, make sure our little yellow valves are in the positions that they are here. We've then also got our little instructions just here. So when I was saying about our external supply, so if we wanted to use the water from our aqua roll and our water pump in the bottom fitting with just the blue hose and the blue little filter, we'd swap this onto external fitting or external supply. So our drain bungs are already in the right positions, as you can see there, and then our little white tap is at the 3 o'clock position. So we're all actually set up now just to draw the water from our aqua roll on the outside. Now if we had filled our water tank, our internal water tank up from outside, and would use the button, the fill button above the door, we could then use our internal tank supply. And what we'd then do is we'd swap this valve to the 6 o'clock position, and that will then actually run the water from our internal water supply and draw the water from our onboard water tank. Today we're going to use it from our external supply from the aqua roll outside, and we just pop the valve back into the 3 o'clock position, and we make sure our drain bungs are all down. If we were going to drain the system, if we were not going to use the Caravan for a fair bit of time or over the winter, again we just literally lift both valves up into the upright position, open all of our taps up, and that will just drain the complete system down for us, ready for winter, or if we're not going to use it for a fair amount of time, just get all the water out of the system. There is a little brief description on here as well about how to use the different systems and settings on there, so again there is a nice little guide on there. But again, just for our external aqua roll, just exactly as we've got it here, and again, as I say, the description is on there also. We can then close that up, and then we can pop our water pump into the on position. So I'll just turn our water pump on. You'll hear the water pump start pumping water through, and that will then, as we open our taps, just start getting the water through. Now if we've not used the system, we'll get a lot of coughing and spluttering. So if we've just come from having the water all drained down, the water's not going to come through as quickly as this. It will take quite a lot of coughing and spluttering. Again, if we've not used the system for a long time and we've had it drained down, we're going to want to draw the water through on our hot water tap just to fill our onboard water heater up first, and again it's going to take 5 or 10 minutes to get the water through the system. We're going to need to do that on our sink tap, our bathroom sink tap, and our shower tap, just to get all the air out of the system. We'll move now onto our gas system, and again, once we've turned our gas bottle on the outside, so the best way to get the gas through the system is to literally through our hob. Now on our rings, this is the easiest way to physically see whether we've got gas coming through, and we can literally just turn it to the big flame, hold that in, and again you'll see there that we've got a little bit of air in the system. So we'll just bleed the gas through the system. Again, it can take 30-40 seconds. What we can do is just hold a couple of the gas valves in just to get it through a little bit quicker, and that's actually bled the system through then, so everything else now will light up an awful lot quicker on the gas side of things. We have also got an electric ring, which is our very first dial, and we can go from 1 all the way up to 6, and that will then put our electric ring at the back on. We do need to make sure that that electric ring doesn't get turned on while the glass lid is down, and again also we want to make sure that if we've used our hob that these have all cooled down sufficiently before we put our glass lid down, otherwise this is going to break. Moving on to our grill, little symbol on this one here, again we turn it to the big flame, hit our igniter, and that will just put our grill straight on. And then our oven at the bottom, again we can set our temperature what we want that to, hold it in, and that will then stay lit. Again we can adjust that temperature on the thermostat. Once that gets up to temperature, the flame will then die down. By getting the gas through on our hob, grill and oven first, it just means that when we come to light our fridge or our heating system, it's all going to work a lot quicker. We've got a main on and off button, so we pop our main on and off button, we'll come on to gas. You'll hear that start to tick, and you'll hear ticking for about 30 seconds, and again with us drawing the gas through the system first with our oven, it means that our fridge will light up a little bit quicker than if we hadn't done that. Once this lights up, you'll actually hear the flame, the ticking will stop, and you'll actually hear the flame start to burn, and you'll be able to just hear a little bit of a, if you're really listening, you'll be able to hear the flame sort of burning away. We've then got our thermometer setting, so we can set the temperature on our fridge to what we want. If we wanted to use this on electric, it's just literally press our electric symbol and that will switch it back over. And with our thermometer on the electric, we can then set that temperature to what we want it to. We have also got a battery symbol. Now that doesn't mean that we can run off the Caravan battery, this is just for towing. So if we've got our vehicle set up with 13-pin electrics, we could hit our battery symbol. Once the car engine's running, that would put our battery on the fridge. Just then keep cool running from the car. It's not going to freeze down like it will on the electric or the gas, but it will just keep it cool. To turn the fridge back off, we just literally hold our power button and that will turn that straight off. Just in our top control panel, we have also got a master set of controls here. So we've got our trip switches for our different mains electrics. We've then got a charger button, so if we want our charger to run when we're plugged into the electrics, so this will transform our 230 volt down to 12 volt, charge the battery and run all of the 12 volt system. Our heating and hot water, now when we want to use our Aldi heating on electric, this one has to be turned on, and again in a minute I'll show you where the little symbol on our Aldi heating system is. Once this is on, we'll get that symbol come on. We've then got our bank of fuses, and again just in the locker at the side it tells you what all of our different fuses are for. And then we've also got a main system shutdown, so in the winter if you wanted to just completely turn everything off, we can turn our little isolator off there on our system shutdown. Obviously got our radio up there as well. And then moving on to our heating system, and our heating system will light up a lot quicker if we need to use it on gas. To wake the system up, we press our on button. Now this will tell us where heating and hot water switch on. That's indicated by the little plug symbol there to tell us that we've got 230 volts turned on and is operational on the system. So if you've not got that 230 volt plug, make sure that you've got 230 volts coming into the Caravan, and then make sure that that button is pressed in with our heating and hot water. We can then go into our menu and we can put our heating and hot water on. At the moment we've got our temperature set to 30 degrees. We can then put our hot water either on a mid or high setting. At the moment we've got electric off, so if we put that either onto 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts. And again, the reason that you've got 3 different settings there is if you go to a site and they've got a low ampage, you might need to run it on 1 kilowatt. If it's got no issues with electric supply and you've got a good power supply coming into the Caravan, we can pop that right up to 3 kilowatts. If you're paying for your electric, you may as well get that heated up as quick as possible. That will then put our heating and hot water on electric. If you want to use those on gas, we can turn that one off and literally just press our gas symbol. That will light up and that will then be putting our heating and hot water on. We can then go back to our main screen that will tell us our internal temperature at the moment is 25.5, and then as soon as this boiler kicks in we should get a little circular symbol just come up on the screen just to say that our heating is also now operational and putting heat around the Caravan. So we've then got our extractor fan. So to open the roof on the extractor fan, we just undo this one first. We've then got our on button, and to extract out we literally just press our out one. On a warm day we can also blow cool air into the Caravan, and if we just let that stop and then reverse that, that will then start blowing cool air into the Caravan and just cool the Caravan down for you. What you must remember is that you've got to shut this top back down again. If you go out for the day, just bring this top fully back down, and again, definitely before travelling, make sure that you definitely bring this back down again. We've then got our microwave. We've got a quick start button that will just put it on for a minute and just on a quick start setting. You have got other different settings on there and you can adjust the power and the time on there. One thing that you must do is before you travel, always remember to remove the microwave plate. If you just take that out, we normally just pop that under one of the cushions, so that'll be just underneath there ready for when you tow with the Caravan. So just make sure that comes out, otherwise it's just got a chance of damaging. Again, getting ready for towing, just make sure that any glass lids, all your windows, roof blinds, etc., they're all fully closed down. When we come into the bathroom, we've got 2 little light switches just on the side there. We've then got our cassette toilet at the back. So our main flush button is our blue button at the top, and we've emptied this ready for travelling, but hopefully you can hear that pump running. That would normally then just put your flush water through the toilet. To open the trap at the bottom to let everything through, the little grey handle at the bottom, just pull that to the back of the Caravan. That will open everything and let it all through, and then just close it back off. Again, this must be closed off before you try and remove that cassette, otherwise when you come to remove the cassette out, it's not going to come out nice and easily. It's going to be feeling like it's stuck, and if you force it, it will damage it. So just make sure that's fully closed, and then that cassette will come out nice and easily. Hopefully we've run through all the setup of the Swift Challenger for you, and it'll make life a lot easier when you come on site and make a lot more sense when you actually set it up and come to use the Caravan. If you do have any questions, just let us know. Either send us a comment, give us a phone call, and again we'll be happy to help you through anything that you need any help with. Thanks, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.